Welcome back to the Outlaw Triathlon in Nottingham. What a great effort from James Doust, the New Zealander. Second place for the Kiwi. They're almost dressed as an All Black there as he moves into the tent in T2. Such great scenery around this course, but I'm not sure how much of that Joanna Swallow has taken in. She really has just stayed totally focused at the head of the women's race, so she's still going well. In third place, the lecturer from Leeds University, Tom Williams, who says this is going to be his last Ironman. Yeah, we believe you, Tom. Looking pretty sprightly as he heads into the tent. And Joanna Swallow now just coming to the last part of this bike ride. And she hasn't had any pressure at all. She's passed a few women and been passed by a few women as part of the team event, but in terms of the individual event, she's had it all her own way. So in come the competitors in contention. And you'll note some of them decide just to take their time through this final transition, stretch out the hamstrings before they put the trainers on. As I've already explained, it's not an easy job getting off the bike and then running straight away. Let's bring you up to date then with results so far. After the bike, Paul Hawkins still in the lead ahead of James Doust and Tom Williams. There's a whole host of competitors in there who will fancy their chances in the run. But for the women's race, well, can anybody get back in touch with Joanna Swallow? Look at that, she is dominating this race ahead of Emma Rand and at the moment Debbie Shaw. And in the team event, a good cycle from Lucy Gossage to put TFN Block into the lead. Bragging rights over the other TFN club down in fourth. Now Paul Hawkins still leading comfortably, not looking quite as good in the run as he did on the bike, but he's got a nice lead to play with. Can James Doust, the New Zealander, hunt him down? Tom Williams in his last ever Ironman triathlon, fabulous effort. And in fourth position, let's not count this man out just yet, Timothy Mayle heading out onto this run course. Right, time to take a look at what lies ahead. An important fact about this run course is that it has been measured by UK Athletics and they've certified it as a full marathon. What a way to finish the Outlaw. The course takes the athletes around the Regatta Lake, then along the towpath beside the River Trent, all the way into the city, where they run past Notts County, Nottingham Forest and Trent Bridge. In total, the competitors will have to complete 4 laps of this course before continuing around the top of the lake to the finish line. And remember, anyone wishing to claim the right to be called an outlaw must cross that finish line no later than the witching hour of 11 p.m. Now, this is what's so good about the run course. Down the towpath, and Paul Hawkins has already gone to the turn and he's seen how far James Doust is back in second place. Joanna Swallow has such a lead at the moment in the women's individual race, she can probably afford to wave at her nearest rivals on the towpath, maybe even stop for a chat. Viv Clement trying to ramp things up, she's going along very well indeed. Now how's this for a contrast? Paul Hawkins still flying along in this marathon phase, but not all of his fellow competitors able to keep up quite the same pace. Lovely Sunday afternoon stroll. Love the way he's keeping an eye on the clock as well, that was brilliant. Now these fans have been so important, sometimes family members and friends. Hannah Evans certainly getting some decent support there as she comes through the next drink station. And Paul Hawkins just starting to look a little gassed here, picking up his next armband, a novel way of proving that he's doing the laps as required. Now, I said earlier in the show that we'd be catching up with Lou Collins, the woman that finished second at this year's Lanzarote Ironman. Let's hear from her now.
Lanzarote was my first proper long distance triathlon, so a bit out into the unknown really for me. I always knew that it was going to be, you know, a tough race. The swims in the sea again can get very rough when you've got 1,000 people all running into the water at the same time. So it can be a bit of a fight in the first 500 metres or so, lots of arms punching and getting ducked and stuff like that. But you know, that all adds to the experience. And then the bike course, as I said, the terrain's very tough, so it's very hilly, very windy, and can get very hot. But again, it's a beautiful location to do a race. Then the runs along a promenade where there's basically no shade whatsoever on black tarmac, and it's pretty hard going after you've already ridden 112 miles and done a 3.8k swim. So again, you kind of see a lot of people who have maybe pushed it a bit hard a bit earlier on, really suffering. So I think really the name of the game is staying cool and pacing yourself so that you can finish strongly, and that's, I think, what I kind of achieved compared to some of the other people I was racing. So yeah, it was a great experience. My aim was to win my age group. If you win your age group, you get the opportunity to get a place to race at the Hawaii World Ironman Championships. So that was my kind of first aim for the race, was to win my age group and qualify for that. I also wanted to be kind of first amateur overall. So basically, I wasn't aiming to go out and beat, you know, the professionals, but I wanted to come as high up overall in the field as I could.
Well, we wish her and Lucy Gossage the best of luck in Hawaii. And here comes Paul Hawkins. Never has a man been so pleased to see a finish line. Fantastic performance by him, and he's even got time to stop and pause and talk to the crowd and pick up his daughter to carry across the finish line. You'll see quite a lot of that today. Very often the kids just want to join mum or dad, or mum and dad, as they cross the line. But time for a bit of history to be made now, as Paul Hawkins, the inaugural winner of the men's outlaw triathlon competition, crosses the line. Paul Hawkins is the champion.
That was an absolutely stormy race, yeah. Brilliant course. The bike, I felt absolutely amazing on that bike.
You led, as soon as you come off the bike, you led the race from start to finish. How was that?
Yeah, well, I started the run really strong. Pushed the first lap and a half, and the wheels started to come off a little, and last lap and a half got quite emotional.
Well, certainly coming down the finishing stretch, picked up your little one. What was that like?
Oh yeah, brilliant, yeah. I don't know what she thought of it, like. She looked a bit intimidated by the crowd, but...
Well, Hawkins wasn't intimidated. Brilliant performance from him. And in second place, the big New Zealander, James Doust. Just checking that watch again. I tell you what, he wasn't far off tracking Paul Hawkins down. Enjoying himself in what is possibly his last endurance outing. The lecturer from Leeds University, Tom Williams, comes to the line determined to enjoy his day out. And that is a fine effort. Doesn't want to cross that line, does he, and bring it all to an end. And who can blame him? Well, fantastic that he's picked the outlaw triathlon as his big farewell. Ross Muir crosses the line in fourth position, and not far behind him, Gavin Rogers. You can see how much it hurts. 3 massive distances across 3 very different disciplines. You've got to admire these guys. It's inspirational as they come into the finish line. They just find that bit of extra energy. Well, some do anyway. Timothy Mail, that's it. He's given everything as he collapses across that line and still manages to check the stopwatch. Well, plenty of runners still out there on the course and still with a few more laps to go, but Joanna Swallow isn't one of them. She's been very steady indeed throughout this whole race, has kept up a solid pace, has never backed off it, and nobody in the women's competition has been able to touch her. And the fact that's been made apparent to us in the commentary box as this marathon has gone on is that Joanna Swallow has never run a marathon before, and she decides to run one at the back end of an Ironman triathlon. Fantastic performance once again, and at the moment not in a celebratory mood, not indulging in any antics with the crowd as we've seen from some of the athletes. She just wants to get this job done properly, and who can blame her? Our second piece of outlaw triathlon history is about to be made, and in quite wonderful circumstances. Joanna Swallow Gets closer and closer to that line and crosses it to become the inaugural Outlaw Triathlon Women's Champion. And what a race from her. Let's hear from the winner.
Yeah, I was really pleased and surprised. It's my first Ironman, so the aim was just to go under 11 hours and see how I did.
At what point did you think, well, actually, I'm in the lead here and I could win?
Well, on the bike, actually, I thought, well, I got told I had quite a big margin, so I thought, well, I'll just go as fast as I can and see what happens.
Oh, fantastic. I absolutely loved it from start to finish. I really enjoyed the swim. And when we got out on the bike, the crowds were fantastic. I've been fortunate, I've raced pretty much all around the world, although not to Ironman distance, but the crowds on the bike were one of the best I've known. They were fantastic, really good. And then when we got into the run, because there's so many people that's come down, I had a really good day. Really, really enjoyed it.
What made you do the Outlaw?
Well, it was just the next step. I've done 4 halves and a couple of marathons. Because I work in football, at times it's difficult to go to some of the Ironman brand races because of the location. So to come and do it, pretty much on your doorstep was just too good of an opportunity to be missed, really.
Congratulations to Darren and all of this year's competitors at the Outlaw, and confirmation of the results. A great win for Paul Hawkins in the men's event, James Doust in second, and Tom Williams held off Ross Muir for third. In the women's event, it was a simply sensational performance from Joanna Swallow, dominating the race from start to finish, with Viv Clement beating Emma Rand to that second place. And last but not least, it was a case of girl power in the team event. Well done to the local tri-club TFN Block on their fantastic win. That's all from this first ever Outlaw Triathlon. We'll leave you with a few memories from this amazing event, and we'll see you next year.
My first Ironman distance race, so really pleased just to nip in under 12 and really good. There's like 30 odd of our club here, my parents, my boyfriend, so yeah, it's been really good.
I'd like to thank all the people that cheered us on, because some hours have been out there, and when you're going around on the bike it's a pretty lonely place until these people, so all the support really. It's been well organised, good support, it's been brilliant. Yeah, great day.
If you think you've got what it takes to be an outlaw triathlete, you can get more information at www.onestepbeyond.org.uk.